Good morning and welcome to another installation of Insights Meditation. Thank you for joining me this morning. Today's focus is going to be on anger. We're going to talk a little bit about building emotional resiliency whenever we feel angry. I think oftentimes whenever we feel anger, we don't really think of it being a natural or normal emotion. We try to work to just get rid of the anger or not feel the anger because it can be a very uncomfortable emotion to feel. And oftentimes, some of us were raised that anger was not an okay emotion to feel. If you were feeling angry, it's not okay. We need to kind of switch over, stop feeling angry, and we need to feel something else. And so when you are given that message that anger is not okay, then later on in adulthood, in later development, when we do feel angry, there's this kind of subconscious response that our body has to tell us that we need to get rid of that feeling, or that feeling is not okay. And so today we're going to talk about how that feeling is normal and natural, and how we can just sit with it for a little bit, how we can name it, acknowledge it, name it, have more power over it, control over it, and then build our tolerance to feeling that what could be a very uncomfortable feeling. So for today's exercise, it would be great if you had a pen and paper, because at the very end, we're going to kind of journal a little bit about what you experienced through this meditation. So if you don't have pen and paper with you, you could stop this video and run and grab something, and then come back and join me here on the mat, and we will begin the meditation. Once you have your pen and paper and you're ready, we're going to go ahead and just get settled here on our mat and start shifting that focus from the outside or external environment to our internal environment. Feeling what we feel in our body. So if you're not already, again, if you're not on a mat, that's okay. You can sit on your couch or in a chair, on your bed, whatever feels comfortable, in a space that doesn't have a lot of distraction. We really want to minimize distraction. One way we minimize distraction is by closing the eyes. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes, you can leave the eyes open and just focus the glance at a space where you're just gently relaxing the eyes down. Be looking down at the floor, down at your thighs. Just begin to deepen the breath, deepen the inhales. And extend the exhales. Try to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Really notice how your body feels on that exhale. You notice any sort of a release of tension in the body. Again, if your thoughts are still focused on the external, and you haven't fully transitioned to just noticing what's happening in your body, you can focus on the breath to sort of anchor you or bring you back into the body, into this present moment. Now let the breath just return to normal, to your normal rate of breath, something that feels comfortable to you. Now we'll start the meditation. Anger is an emotion that may consume you completely, causing you to act in ways that are harmful or unproductive. When anger arises, the mind can fall victim to harsh thoughts and judgments, to obsessions, obsessive thoughts. But by creating space and responding to your anger with compassionate awareness, you can build resiliency and adjust your anger response. This exercise offers a way to deal with anger when you are right in the midst of it. When you notice anger, frustration, or irritation rising, allow the eyes to close. And just know that you are feeling anger. Just name that emotion. And you can name it in your mind. When you close your eyes, you can say, I am feeling angry. Again, that's that acknowledgement. I am feeling angry. Don't try to rid yourself of the anger. Don't try to talk yourself out of it or pretend that it's not there. We're just going to sit with it. Sit with that discomfort. And then breathe deeply into the abdomen. When you take that inhale, notice that the belly is going to rise, the chest is going to rise, the abdomen's completely filling with air. And just breathe in until you can't breathe in any more air. Filling that abdomen. And when you exhale, make an effort to empty the lungs, to press out all of the air through the mouth or the nose. And then just breathe deeply for those first few moments. So again, we've acknowledged the feeling. I am feeling angry. We're not going to try to push it away. And then we're going to take some deep breaths in through the nose, expanding the abdomen, the chest. And when you can't breathe in anymore, we're going to exhale and release all of that, pushing out every last bit of breath out of the lungs. Now you're going to bring to mind the situation that is causing you anger. What triggered that anger response? When you're new to this practice, it's helpful to work with something that's just mildly frustrating, as the feeling of full-on rage may be a little bit too overwhelming in the body. So maybe for the sake of this meditation, think of something that's just mildly annoying, irritating, frustrating. Let the mind just contemplate that. And as you tune into the rising anger in your mind, allow yourself to feel what's happening in your body. So as you consider that frustration, that thing that just really gets you going, triggers that anger, when you think about it, what are you noticing in your body? Are you noticing more tension? Are you clenching your jaw? Maybe clenching your fists, tensing the muscles. does that look like for you in your body? And again, we're not here to judge this today. We're just here to notice what anger feels like in the body. And as you become aware or recognize these sensations in the body, tend to each of these with a compassionate awareness, a compassionate response. Again, no judgment. Just noticing and acknowledging that this is the body's response, your body's response to anger and frustration. And then open your awareness and see what else is occurring in the body. Is there anything else that you notice? Any other sensations? Tense shoulders? Tension in the pelvic floor, the pelvic region. Oftentimes we hold tension, anxiety in that region. Sometimes we're clenching maybe and we don't realize that we are until we focus on that part of the body. After you've spent some time exploring those sensations, tending to them, now shift your focus to the awareness of the mind. Ask yourself what might be underneath the anger. What might be triggering or causing it? Why you might get frustrated in certain situations, or if there's a pattern of frustration. Certain scenario you often find yourself in, certain thoughts that might trigger an anger response. Old wounds that sometimes come to mind. Sometimes out of nowhere, you can't pinpoint a trigger, but it's just there and you just feel it. See if you can go a little bit deeper in the mind to explore what that might be about. There might be feelings of pain, betrayal, wanting to control something, maybe a perceived lack of safety. Anger about your diagnosis. Anger about your loved one's diagnosis. If you can't find something at first, just patiently wait to see if anything comes up as you continue to explore this. When you do notice something underneath the anger, just name it. For example, if you come up with something that makes you feel hurt, then say hurt. If you touch on something that makes you feel scared, name it. I'm scared. I feel scared. Oftentimes we call anger a cover emotion, meaning that anger often presents itself, but what is underneath the anger can be lots of different emotions. Fear, pain, hurt, disappointment. So we're really going to try to get specific about what it is that we feel. What's coming up for us? And after you name the emotion, respond with a phrase of compassion. Something like, may I learn to care about this hurt. May I learn to care about this pain. May I learn to care about this fear. Take just a few more moments for you to have the time to focus on all of the feelings that have come up, that you've named, so that you can take the time to show some compassion for those feelings. When you're ready, we're going to finish this portion of the practice, and then we're going to take a break and journal here at the end. So go ahead and begin to blink open the eyes if your eyes are closed. And then reach for your pen and paper, your journal, whatever it is that you have to write on. And we're just going to do a little bit of reflection about what you just experienced. So go ahead and take your pen and paper and write about what you noticed in your body whenever you were going through this exercise. What you found underneath the anger, how that looked inside the body in terms of bodily sensation, and what emotions you were able to identify during this exercise. Just go ahead and take a few moments to write some notes here. It doesn't have to be in paragraph format, it can be in bullets. Just jot down some notes. And when you've finished, you can pause this video at any time. When you've finished reflecting on the bodily sensations, the emotions that were coming up for you, maybe some thoughts or triggers that were coming up for you, when you finished writing those down, then I want you to reflect on what it was like to offer yourself that self-compassion. When you experienced those emotions and you responded with compassion, not judgment, not trying to push those feelings away, but to sit with them, to explore them. How did that feel? What did you notice in your body and in your mind when you chose to respond that way? And our response is our choice. Viktor Frankl, who survived the Holocaust concentration camp after losing all of his family, one quote, and I'm not going to get it exactly right, but I'm going to paraphrase, is that there is a space between stimulus and response. And in that space, we get to make a choice about how we will respond to whatever situation we're in. Whatever we're given, that's our choice. And today you chose to come into this meditation, to sit in those feelings that can often be uncomfortable. But you chose to do that. And in this space is where we build resiliency. So thank you for showing up today for yourself and for your individual well-being. I hope that this reflection was helpful for you and that you continue to grow your resilience to not only just the uncomfortable emotion of anger, but maybe you could do this meditation in thinking about some other uncomfortable emotions, which is very individualized. What feels uncomfortable to you. So that might be pain, it might be sadness, it might be disappointment. Whatever emotions seem difficult to sit with at times, you can come back and do this meditation and focus on those, again, to build resiliency. So thank you again for joining me, and I hope that this set the tone for a wonderful remainder of your day.